All right, here we go. It is another episode 3 of Brendel's Breakdown with our special guest every week, my guy from the Job Center, new sponsor, Chris LePore. Coach, how's it feel? You're sponsored now. Look at you. You're all logoed up.
I'm logoed up, baby. I'm feeling tan coming off the Puerto Rico trip.
Was it warm down there? My aunt is in Florida, and she was complaining that it was like 50 degrees every day.
85 and sunny. But I will say, in the middle of, we had a huge family reunion. There was a big birthday party, all white, and in the middle of the party, you know, everybody's kind of dancing, doing their salsa. I'm kind of checking my phone on the side, looking at the Baylor score. I still got my Bearcat action in. But no, obviously,
it didn't end how we wanted. But that's okay.
But you know, super grateful that Kyle jumped in, sponsored the show. Job Center is a Cincinnati-owned company. I'm based in Louisville, which is where our biggest client UPS is. So that's kind of my deal, is overseeing that. But we're a light industrial staffing company. And if any of our listeners are connected to a company that has a temp staffing need, contingent staffing need, give me a shout. We will get on it. Our big thing is quality and retention. We've had a couple instances where our retention and turnover numbers are turnover. The market is about 50%. We've had some cases where we're 20% turnover, which is big time. That's a lot better than the average Big 12 team in terms of retaining their players to the transfer portal. So give me a shout if you have a need, and we will take care of you. There you go.
And unfortunately, 20% is about the Bearcats' turnover percentage right now.
we got to get that down. Got to get that.
If there's anything that drives Wes nuts, it's turning the ball over. I'm sure he is losing his mind over that little speck of the game.
No doubt. Historically, take care of the ball is at the top of the list.
You had a couple questions you wanted to get to today before we start getting into some film.
Yeah, no doubt. I love the feedback. Obviously read through everything that people sent over. First thing that jumped off was we had a question about how much film the staff watches. How much do we share that with the players? Thought that was great. You know, as obviously this show is centered around how much film we're watching. The coaches, after every game, will go back and watch the film. It's like a 3.5, 4-hour process. So you think about some of those late starts, those 9 p.m. starts. The film room is rocking till about 3, 4 a.m. on those nights. And from that staff viewing, you know, clips will be selected to show the team. And so, you know, there might be a theme of, let's look at our offensive execution, good and bad. Let's look at our defensive performance, good and bad. Let's look at some situational things. And you kind of build out your film session from there with the players. And, you know, obviously, college student athlete attention spans, you've got to keep that in mind. So you can't make it too long. You've got to have some positive along with the negative. You've got to balance that. You know, you're taking into consideration psychology here. You're taking into consideration, are we coming off the back of a win where we can, you know, dissect a little harder? Are we coming off the back of a loss? Maybe they need to get ripped after that loss. Maybe we need to build them up. So you're really selective with your clips that you show the team. Can't show them 4 hours.
Sure.
But how do we take that 4-hour session and turn it into a 20 to 30-minute session with the players? And then you've got some guys like a David DeJulius, for example, who, you know, are beating your door down for more film. And so you're sending Dave, you know, maybe personnel edits of the opposing team, more in-depth ball screen read stuff in the NBA, making custom edits. And you know, that's the stuff you love, right? You want guys that want to watch film all day as a coach. So there are some situations where, you know, guys will watch more individual film. But as a team, you're taking that huge long film session and then pulling the stuff out that's most important.
All right. And you had one more, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The other question was, are we the worst free throw shooting team in the country? The answer is no.
Not even the worst in the Big 12, Coach.
Not even the worst in the Big 12. Oklahoma State bailed us out, and we are right there with Houston neck and neck for or that second to last spot. The Cats are going to work on their free throws and shoot the ball better down the stretch, hopefully, so we don't have any more cardiac cat 2 missed free throws situations at the end of the game. Going to avoid that at all costs.
That was one of the more ridiculous endings of a basketball game that's ever existed in the history of basketball.
That was insane. That was insane.
The elation, Dan gets the rebound, gets fouled. Like, all right, make one, win this game, get out of here. Misses both over the back. Now they're probably going to win.
Yeah.
And then they miss the front end of a 1-on-1.
And then they go down and miss, man. And it was pretty cool. Obviously, when's the appropriate time to storm the court? I don't know if there's a rule book for that. I've never been a part of storming the court, but I have had the court stormed on me. Unfortunately, that's probably the worst loss I've ever been a part of, was that Northern Kentucky game at NKU. I'm still trying to forget that one.
We don't talk about that.
But it would have been cool to be a part of that. I love seeing the pictures and the videos. That was a pretty cool deal.
I don't think it was anything other than college kids were excited. Like,
Absolutely.
TCU, like, that part mattered, but it didn't matter. I think it was just the game was so edge of your seat and there was so much tension in it that, a couple college kids decided, let's go. And then once a couple decide, it's groupthink, and everybody else is like, all right, I guess we're storming the court. Let's go.
No doubt about it.
Let college kids have fun. Quit being grumpy and old and cranky.
Yeah, come on. Jeez. Let them run around if they want to run around. All right, are we ready for class?
Let's go.
Let's do it. We are jumping into offense today. Going to start with baseline out of bounds. All right, this is what we would call a special situation here. We're specifically looking at late game execution. So end of the Baylor game here. Obviously, this game did not end as we all would have liked, but we are going to break down what we're doing here, what we're running, what we're seeing down the stretch at the end of the game. So this is the baseline out of bounds set. Obviously, we need a basket desperately to win the game. We're in what we call a box set here. Pretty obvious. 2 guys on the block, 2 guys on the elbows. We call that a box set.
Looks like more of a rectangle. Looks like more of a rectangle, but
debatable whether it's a rectangle or a rhombus. But we call this a box set. Now, this is actually some trickery and deceit here by Coach Miller, because even though it starts as a box set, quickly as the ball gets inbounded, it becomes what we call a 4-low set. Yeah. So it's the way to disguise your 4-low package to start it as a box set. You'll see this all throughout college basketball. Teams have their 4-low package, and if they want to disguise it, start in a box set and then sprint to your 4-low spots. So Coach obviously likes the matchup here that Skillings has. We're going to throw it over the top. This is a tough pass, so you want your inbounder to be one of your best playmakers and passers, which a lot of confidence in CMOS in that situation there. Now, Jamil is the one that makes this play work. Obviously, the play is designed for Skillings to catch this ball, rip left, and hopefully he has enough space here. So we need a guy who can shoot the ball in the corner here. And we need the biggest, strongest guy we got to clear out some space. So you'll see as soon as Dan catches this ball, Jamil goes into WrestleMania mode to try and clear out space legally by hitting with his hips and shoulders. And he does just that, creates the driving lane. Obviously, we don't get the result we want on the shot, but that is really good execution at the end of the game. And obviously, we're a good offensive rebounding team. We get another shot, okay? So now this alignment here will actually show a counter to this play. This is actually a counter, I should say. They have a base formation very similar to this, kind of this line across the free throw line, and then one guy starting on the weak side. So you'll see here, typically in this play, what we'll see is John Newman will curl, Dan will come all the way across to get a catch, and we'll just run some ball screen action here. But either of these 2 guys on the backside have the ability to make a backdoor cut if they think they have an advantage. Actually, in the TCU game, John Newman got a dunk, just making a quick backdoor cut here, caught the ball right about here and dunked it with 2 hands, which was great. So here you see John Newman makes that curl. All right, not really looking for the ball, just kind of making his curl cut to the basket. And then you'll see Dan is setting up the backdoor cut. All right, maybe he's open here, maybe he's not. Either way, it's a risky pass. And what you'll see is CMOS, again, another disguise here, right? CMOS starts as the screener in the play, going to screen John's man and then going to screen Dan's man. But he's actually the one coming off to get the action, and he knows it the whole time. So he's got to sell himself as just a screener. Set one screen, go set another screen, and then boom. His job now it's to sprint off of these two screens that are set for him and get himself space for a shot. Obviously, we've got a contested shot, but it's a catch and shoot look with space for your best 3-point shooter to win the game. You like what you got here. We got 4 guys crashing the board hard. Just don't get the result of the made shot, but still good execution there on the baseline out of bounds. All right, here. Went to non-conference play and pulled out this same alignment. So again, you got your 3 across here on the free throw line, and Day, who was in Dan's skilling spot, Dan decided to make the backdoor cut. This time, Day is going to come off and get a catch. You'll see John Newman's the one that cuts backdoor. Either of these guys, if they see a cut, they can go get it. John Newman with the backdoor cut. Day comes off the screens, and now he's going to be in a ball screen with Victor, and now they're just playing motion. All right, obviously not the best defense, ball screen defense there by Stetson, but you get what you want. All right, so that's the baseline out of bounds segment. We'll dig into that as the season goes on and we see more sets and wrinkles out of those 2 formations. But keep an eye out for your line play and then your 4 across and your box sets when we have the ball baseline out of bounds. By the way, love the messages and texts about ball screen defense, guarding the pick and pop. You guys are all over it. Those who have been watching the past couple weeks, you guys are on it. Not just observing, but putting it into practice. All right, so down 4, about 2 minutes left in the game. Need a basket. This is off of a missed free throw here. So coaches typically will run their trick plays or easy basket plays out of a timeout. But off of a missed shot or a missed free throw where the defense is still in transition tends to be a better time to actually get the result you want out of those trick plays or quick hit plays. Because coming out of a timeout, you're alert, right? You know, like, okay, their best stuff is coming. But in the flow of the game, off a missed free throw, something along those lines, a baseline out of bounds, coming the length, you might be able to catch the defense off guard a little bit. That's what we see here. They're running one of their go-to plays to get a shot at the rim. Desperately need a basket here, and we'll break this one down for you. All right, so you're going to see the pattern of these 2 guys crossing each other on the baseline where the action is going to be. Day's job in this action is to drive the ball hard across the floor to the right side, take it to the action so that we can set up a cross screen layup here quickly. All right, we need a quick basket. This is one of the quick sets. Teams in college basketball have all kinds of quick packages. Some of them are for dribble handoff, some are vertical ball screens, some are more in the trick play realm where you're trying to get a quick, lob to the basket or pass quickly to the basket. This would be more in the pass category, off ball screening to try and catch the defense off guard. So Day does his job. He dribbles hard to the right side of the floor. Dan is going to sprint to get a catch and then quickly look at the basket where this screen takes place between CMOS and Victor. All right, Aziz more of a decoy in this situation. All right, Dan does his job. He gets open, and you can see Victor looks like he's just chilling at the top of the key, right? Maybe waiting for a ball screen, maybe waiting for a catch. He knows as soon as this pass goes to Dan Skillings, he's got a layup waiting for him if my big man here is asleep. All right, caught him sleeping. We've already got this separation, and we got the screen coming. Now it's going to be a quick hit to Victor, and you get your layup. Desperately needed a basket there. Love running the quick hitter, coming down the floor off a missed shot to catch the defense sleeping here. Great execution by the Bearcats here. You see it in full speed. Look out for this play, a low cross play to get a quick basket, to get a layup. You love when you can steal a layup, especially late in the game. And another pattern, too, is you're in front of your players on offense in the second half. So Coach Miller here in the second half, he can really coach guys strategically where to be, when to go. And so that's why you see more of these plays in the second half. Also, the defense is a little more fatigued, right? But you'll see coaches call more trick plays, call more specialty plays in the second half where they can orchestrate it a little more. Make sure that timing is precise. All right, so next time Bearcats get the ball, shoot, that worked. Let's do it again. This one's coming off a dead ball. Same personnel in the game, same play. Day-Day's going to dribble it over. We're going to get that low cross screen. At least to this point, it looks like the same exact play. I was fired up. I was like, let's run it again. I love it. Maybe had Victor there, maybe not. But again, sometimes good ball pressure and good defense can win you a possession. So it's not there. Every good play has a counter. All right. So it's not an all or nothing play. We're going to look at that. It's not there. Dan's now going to dribble it up. CMOS just screened for Victor. Now Victor's going to screen for CMOS. All right. So now you'll see the screen being set up. And now CMOS is looking to break himself free off a screen for a three. Looks like we have him beat. Good recovery here by number 2. And when the play breaks down, meaning we executed, we got the ball where we needed to go, we didn't get the shot we wanted, the offense is supposed to flow right into motion. So we don't have the shot here. We should see guys moving. We should see guys attacking the rim off the bounce. And it basically becomes what they call dribble drive offense or flow offense, which is a pattern of ball screens and drives and moving the ball. It's simple in its theory, but tough to execute against good defense. All right, so again, the counter is set up. We get the ball where we need to be. It's just not there. Now let's move, drive, kick, shot fake. This is a point of emphasis in offense. If your shot's not there, footwork is refereed very tightly. So it's great to shot fake, slow yourself down, and then attack. So you see CMOS catch and shot fake. Dan catch and shot fake. Drive, kick, find your teammate. And that was a big shot there by Day-Day.
Great relocation by Day-Day to follow Dan.
Yeah,
as he comes
great,
down, right?
great relocation. This is almost out of drill work and pre-practice. All right.
If he stays here, Dan can't hit him with a pass.
Correct. So as CMOS drives, we should see Dan start sliding this way, which he does. All right, so that he has an outlet when his man helps. All right, now on Dan's drive to the left, we should see Day-Day start moving this way. The further away from the ball, the better in these situations, because if he stops here, he's not open. If he can get to the corner, he's very much open. So great offense there. And then you see the backboards are covered even if we do miss that. But a big shot by Day-Day, give the Bearcats the lead, and then things got crazy after that.
Should have been a foul on Aziz as the shot was in the air too, but that's neither here nor there.
If you have that picture of you in a referee suit, you could put it on, and you could be the lead official for the Big 12. There it is. Look at that. That handsome devil. I don't think you're going to be trusted as a Big 12 official. I'm sorry.
I'm better than Amy Bonner.
No comment. All right, so there's your offense. I know we've been defense heavy. I love defense. We'll probably get back to defense at some point. But wanted to dive.
Requested a John Newman. Why is John Newman great at defense segment?
I love it. I will put that together with joy. Um,
How
obviously we
happy
gotta.
are you for him?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I've known John Newman since he was 15 years old. Obviously, when we were at UNC Greensboro, we wanted him desperately out of high school, but he was borderline top 100 player in the country, went ACC, and getting the opportunity to coach him at Cincinnati was a thrill. But obviously, with so many injuries, this is just what you want for the guy. Such a great guy, so mature, and to see him have this success and to see him in peak physical condition, um, you love it. You love it for John Newman.
Yep.
Shout out to Jay
All
New.
right. Oklahoma,
Oklahoma.
Saturday, 1:00.
Yep,
Fifth
obviously
Artery.
got quite a stretch here, which it's just going to be that way from this point on.
This is life.
This is
No,
life.
no, it's going to be worse than this because next year you add like 3 more top 25 teams and you go to
Right.
20 games instead of 18.
Yeah, I mean, is the entire top 25 going to be Big 12 teams? I mean, this is getting crazy. So we got back-to-back ranked opponents coming. It's going to be fun. It is going to be fun. But let's at least dive into some Oklahoma. I know it's hard not to look ahead at Kansas, but we got to stay one at a time. Um, let's look at Oklahoma here. I'll pull up some of their clips and taking a look really at two guys. They're two leading scorers. It was hard to leave out Sam Godwin, big white boy they got. He actually started his career at Wofford, 7-footer from Oklahoma. Wofford was our rival when we were at UNC Greensboro, and so Godwin, as a freshman, was a really good player, and then transferred to Oklahoma, and now comes full circle, playing against the Bearcats in the Big 12. But he's also the reason why I bring up Godwin. He's the number one offensive rebounder in college basketball right now by percentage. And so we're gonna have to put some bodies on him, which I think we have plenty of front court bodies to handle that task. But let's go ahead and jump in. Look at their two leading scorers here. McCollum, number 2, has an elite shot fake. That's the thing that jumps off the page. Obviously, he's a big time shooter. Can get his shot off just about anywhere. Number 2 right here on the wing. Big time shooter, big time shot fake. He's got big time offensive game, leading scorer for them. Here he is, number 2. He will handle the ball primarily for them. See a lot of ball screen action for him, and he is not shy. But again, you see that shot fake, it almost makes you think Landers Nolly, the way he uses it so much. This is what we call a through action. Figure we'll break down a little bit of Oklahoma offense while we're at it. When the point guard enters the ball ahead to the wing and then runs across the court to receive the ball back, kind of a through action here. All right. So as soon as we see him enter the ball and sprint through, we should be thinking the ball's coming back to him. That'll be something they talk about in scouting, something that they prepare for going into this game. A lot of times the ball will reverse to him right away. This big man will dribble it over right into a handoff or turn into screening action here to try and get him coming full steam off of this handoff, which you see here. He can put it down on the ground. Obviously, think shoot first, but he can put the ball down a little bit. All right, now this is a possession. You'll see this some end of half, end of game, where nobody else really even touches the ball. They're just going to go spread ball screen for him, turn this into an ISO, and just let the man go to work. See if he can get a bucket, which he is pretty good at. So, going to see a lot of McCollum, leading scorer. All right, secondary scorer option on the team, Ortega Owe. All right, you got to be thinking big physical driver here. All right, plays the 3 primarily, will play some at the 4, but he's a matchup problem at the 3. Big, strong guy at the 3. putting his head down, driving the ball. He can make a 3-point shot, shoots a very high percentage, but it's because he's shooting the ones that are wide open, not going to force the 3-point shot. Number 3. All right, here's a quick trail. And if you're not ready to guard, he's going to put the ball down on the floor and get right to the rack. Really good at drawing fouls. I don't know if Ref Chad had a foul there or not, but debatable. Here he is. Okay, this is a combination play here.
Foul.
We call this a hook action, and then it'll go into a Spain action. All right, so let me break these two down for you. Hook action is an off-ball screen into a ball screen. All right, so number 3 is going to screen for the big man. Big man is going to run up and set a screen. The reason for this is it's a lot harder for number 24 to get in hedge position on the ball screen if he has to deal with the screen first. All right, so you'll see Oweh goes and sets the down screen for the big man, and you'll see they got to hustle to get into ball screen coverage, trying to defeat that screen. Now, anytime you see this kind of stack ball screen here, this is what we call Spain action. Okay, so once this ball screen is set, either way, if he uses it to the left or uses it to the right, we're either going to see a roll to the basket with a pop from the bottom guy, or maybe a back screen roll looking for a lob, or even sometimes a pin down for this guy to come shoot a 3. So a lot of different options out of this Spain action. This seems to be a go-to for Oklahoma when they're looking for a basket. Hook into Spain and play. All right, so there it is. You see the back screen there by Oweh after the screen is set. Ball screen set first, back screen. Look for the lob if it's there. It's not. Now we just play, and there goes Oweh on the drive again.
And 21 was just in no man's land there.
Yeah,
because of the multiple actions, he was kind of stuck ball watching.
It's a hard action to guard. It's something you really got to prepare for. It's something that Coach Miller's teams will spend a lot of time on in practice and shoot around because it is very tricky to guard. You have to not just identify what's going on, but then adjust your role in the possession once you identify it. He will push some, not a primary ball handler. Fast forward a little bit here. Again, we're back to that Spain ball screen look. This was another hook to Spain action. All right, you just see use the ball screen, roll and pop here. And again, he's not so much popping for 3s. The last time we covered pick and pop, this guy was a shooter. And he will shoot it if he's wide open, but he's popping for drives. So play it back. There it is. Popping, drive the floor. So again, those are the two guys for Oklahoma. Look for McCollum to shoot the ball and Oweh to drive the ball, and look for big white boy Sam Godwin to rebound the ball. That's kind of the identity of who they are on offense.
They're very good. I think TCU is probably better overall. I think TCU's got more weapons, but I think maybe Oklahoma has a little bit more firepower in those two guys, like at the top of their roster, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And Oklahoma, the stats will show that they're a better defensive team than offensive team, which I found interesting. That didn't jump off the page to me right away watching it, but they really guard the 3 well. Top 10 in the country in guarding the 3. And Oklahoma shoots 55% effective field goal, and they're holding teams under 45%. So that's where they're making up, their margins. Why they've got such a good record going into this game is they're a good offensive team, but they've proven to be a very good defensive team.
Which is kind of life in the Big 12. Usually you get a team. Most teams are great at one thing and really good at the other thing.
No doubt.
Like some teams are great at both, but you very rarely find a team that struggles. Oklahoma State probably right now, but for the most part, everybody's got one thing they hang their hat on, and then the other thing they're still really good at.
No doubt, no doubt. And then just a note on the Bearcats, now top 20 in the country in overall defense, which I think is a good sign.
Yep.
This time of year is usually when you start to see the defense gel heading into conference play. And so good to see that. And then a top 5 defensive rebounding team in the country. Obviously, that's the front
They
court
were number
is,
one until the TCU game.
yeah, the front court is doing their job. Need to continue to secure the ball down the stretch. That's when it gets a little hairy and dicey down there.
Yeah.
But it should be another fun swing Saturday, Tuesday, Oklahoma, Kansas.
No, Saturday, Monday.
Saturday, Monday. That's right. Yeah, that's a heck of a turnaround.
Big Monday, 9 p.m. in the fog. You want to go? I got an extra spot.
Come on.
No, see, I got an extra spot. You want to go?
I'm in. Let's go.
I rented basically a mansion and a passenger van, and we're headed out Sunday morning, and going to be there for Monday night. We're excited.
I love it. I've played in a lot of arenas, and I will say the atmosphere there. I know it has the reputation, but to me, it was the best in college basketball. Gotten to coach in that building twice. And, both times I wasn't a part of a name brand program, right? It wasn't Kentucky versus Kansas. It was Kansas versus Belmont and Kansas versus Greensboro. And both times in the second half, I mean, it is deafening. You hear legend of, teams playing artificial crowd volume during practice leading up to them. It is a special environment. I say we go in there and win the game. What do you think?
I'm down. I'm going to be there. So that would be much more fun post game and drive home on Tuesday if
no doubt
beat Oklahoma, beat Kansas, start this thing off 4-2 against 6 ranked opponents. See how it goes from there. All right. Good deal.
Either way, we'll be back next week.
We'll be here next week and we'll talk about it. That's what we do. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you, brother. That is Brendel's Breakdown. We'll see you next week right here on BearcatJournal.com.